Hello everyone. You'll please excuse my voice. What a week it's been. I'm just congested and have had a sore throat and sinusitis, all of that stuff. But I saw it coming because when I did those last two videos, it was already starting to build up, and that's why I was on the topic of expression. Because it's not lost on me that, the body does respond to things that are happening spiritually. And, what it's done is it's forced me to rest. It literally blocked my throat. So I couldn't actually express myself other than in writing. I'm feeling a lot better now. And besides that, there's just been a hell of a lot of other things that I've been dealing with in my 3D life. But what I wanted to share is a reminder of why we go through these things that seem like dips. Because a lot can happen. This week my laptop charger stopped working, and I felt like I was just getting into gear with certain things. And so when my laptop charger, I didn't know it was just the cable, and so I freaked out thinking it's the actual thing that receives the charging thing in the laptop. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's the transformer. I didn't know what it was, and I was just like, I can't not use my laptop. And so I had all these opportunities to freak out this week. Being sick, having my kids sick. My sister was sick. She spent just a couple of days in hospital. She's doing a lot better. So there were all these things that I thought, these things are slowing me down. They're coming at the wrong time. What does this mean? But actually, after some time, I started to realize that I was being forced to slow down. And the reason I was being forced to slow down is because I am naturally just a go person. And so it does take a lot to get me to stop, to take stock, to gather my life, to gather what's going on, have a look at what I've been busy with for the past few months, and give myself, my body, my voice, my mind, to catch up with my spirit. Because this is what we do, we ask for more, and more doesn't come in the form of, well, in my experience, more has not come in the form of everything carries on as usual and suddenly the next day I wake up a different person. That's not what more has looked like for me. Throughout my journey, more has looked like being sent to places I've never been before, to collect new information, followed by a period of rest to integrate it. And I sometimes wonder, I look at other content and I wonder how these people just carry on as if nothing else is happening. You know what I mean? And I think that speaks to a certain level of productivity that they've gathered over time. And those are the results. Everyone is at a different point in their journey. But there's something to be said about, depending on where you are on your journey, to honor those periods where you're called to just stop everything and take stock. And what this has done to me, actually, is that I have come out with a few points that I need to heal, that I've become aware of. So what they were doing is they were lingering in the background, underneath the surface. They were lingering in the background, and my mind was not ready to go there. But I've come out now because all I've been able to do is write and think. And not so much think. I just mean rest and have the space to actually write down what is holding me back from moving to this place that I know I'm going to now. Because that's becoming very clear that the next destination has been set. And so I can feel the next destination, and it's come to my awareness what I need to clear up to allow myself to basically step into this next destination. And I'm careful about the words I'm using here, because when I say next destination is because we hear a lot of promises around what's coming and all of that. But you know, the truth of the matter is that it's a journey. It's a journey that's constantly unfolding. And so we take it off in chunks, and it unleashes inside of us in chunks. It doesn't unleash all at once. And it's like we get pulled along. We do get pulled along, so we have that benefit. But at some point, it does also force you to turn around and see yourself, because you are a very crucial element of the vehicle that's going to get you to the next destination. And I have no doubt after the next destination there will be another. This is the nature of things. But these next few days there's a full moon coming up, and I might get this wrong, but I believe that the next full moon is in Pisces. Let me just check. Yes, it's a full moon in Pisces. Full moons are, we know that they reveal so much, but this is on top of everything. It's a lunar eclipse. And the sense I get from this is there is going to be, you know, when I'm interpreting like the sun's position, the moon's position, the earth's position in this whole eclipse matter, I am considering myself as the earth in this relationship. And what I see happening here is everything that is hidden, all that is dark, all that has not yet been revealed. I am going to be in that power. I am going to be in full sight of all of those things. And I hope that if that doesn't make sense, you can maybe flip back a little bit and hear it again. But Pisces as well is like obviously the most developed sign of the zodiac. And it's very much around our spirituality and our gifts. And so for me, this upcoming full moon and what I did say about the next destination feels like a lot of the things that we've been working on this year, a lot of the things that have been revealed, there's been a polishing of these things. And we are going to be witnessing, unlike other years, we're going to be witnessing this shift in a way that we have not witnessed a shift before. What I mean by that is to know something is coming, to prepare for it, to go through its ups and downs, knowing something is coming, and to watch it come to pass. And so what I feel like saying is this is not the time to turn away from yourself. I actually do, to a level, I feel like it's going to be impossible, but I feel like it will make it easier to face these things and to have a look at them, knowing why you're doing this. And so I'm pulling some cards here just to have a look at where we are. But while I shuffle, I just want to talk about I've mentioned a few times this sense of empowerment and how to approach empowerment, self-empowerment, by not blaming the outside, looking to the outside for the reasons why something isn't yet. And I feel like where it comes to matters of self-worth and matters of, again, self-empowerment, the value of what you do, the validity of what you do, and where you still deal with a sense of shame around certain things. I feel like so much work has been done to pinpoint those things. But now what's happening is more questions to tackle the beliefs, the underlying beliefs that are still a barrier. So in a way, integrating all the things we already know into our being so that they are noted, and so that when they come up, we're alert to them, but that they are no longer a barrier because of the sense of empowerment. The sense of empowerment that also says, as I move through these times that will still arise, times of the unknown, times where I feel confused or whatever, all those things, these times will arise, but because I know that when uncertainty is upon me, I begin to question myself because of past experiences, past conditioning, past things I've been told, false things I've been told about myself, false things I was telling myself. Because I'm aware of that, I'm now in the power seat where I can say, okay, I see you, and we're proceeding either way. Because I feel like if you actually review, I think that the people who, there's this perfectionist syndrome, there's this, what if I disappoint, there's all these things. But it's the people who say these things to themselves and ask themselves these things that are the least likely to stuff it up. And so this is to release that side of you, because the reason you're not stuffing it up is not because you stopped for 3 hours or 3 days or 3 months to make sure you don't stuff it up. That's not the reason. These things might seem correlated, but they're not related. Not stuffing it up is because you're good at it. Avoiding stuffing it up is because you're cautious and questioning yourself. These things are separate. And so they must not be pulled together, because then they'll continue to slow you down. And so the visual I'm getting is that of someone walking around, I mean, let me be careful about how I say this. What I'm picturing is like a Zulu warrior, and they have a shield and they have a spear. And I'm not sure whether these things are only with them when they're actually going to war. But the sense I get is that moving forward, we move forward with our shield and our spear. The spear being the thing that will fight, that we'll use to target these parts of ourselves that bring doubt and that slow us down, the things that stop us from winning, and the shield being that protection. The protection that's actually always been there, but that we haven't always held with us and walked as though we have it. And so whether we've recognized that it's always been with us or not, the truth of the matter is that it's always been with us. And so now we must just hold it and walk with it so that we know we have it. So it's like this empowerment is coming from the awareness of the protection and the awareness of the fact that you have what you need to target those things. Because those gremlins, they'll come up. The gremlins are like part of nature. They're there. They're there, and they're not an indication of where you're at. They are just part of it. They are just part of the story. Yet you still have to move forward. You still have to move through. So I feel like what we're learning here is how to move through irrespective of what is happening. And I laugh to myself because, just a side note, for so long I've had this tense relationship between my visualization, the voice within, and my cards. And that's becoming I realize that my cards are, they're a tool, but they're not crucial. I love them for my creativity, and I love the kind of sense of structure that they bring to readings. But look, I'm 14 minutes in and I'm still trying to shuffle. It's I'm still curious what the cards are going to say. So I don't think this is going to be long, because I actually pretty much think I have said everything. And the cards are becoming people who love shoes. I love cards. So I love collecting decks. I love having them. I love exploring which decks I'm going to get next. But I have also this voice in my head that's I don't know what to call this voice. It's a devil voice that's you shouldn't use those. And I've had to work through that. But I realize it's it is like shoes, because there are people who love a huge variety of shoes. You know how to walk without them, but you love them. And it's not that you need them, but you love them. And so I'm just realizing how much I've complicated my life over quite a long period. I've really complicated the thoughts in my head, and this thing is not that complicated actually. That said, there are no shortcuts to the truth. And you know what these cards are showing me? They're reminding me of, if you've ever been on an experience like this, you know, when you're driving on holiday to a destination and you've been driving for quite a while, and sometimes like if you're going to the bush or whatever, that last stretch could be gravel. So it's a rough part of the journey, but you're closer to your destination than you've been the whole time. And it's like most of the journey is smooth and you've got directions for it, but the gravel, it's like you could find anything. If it's raining, it's worse. If there are potholes, it's worse. And it's bumpy. And sometimes you arrive when it's dark. But there is that comfort of knowing you're close. And that's the sense I'm getting. It feels like a long journey and like we're close. And so it's a hang in there, but it's also don't forget to check the signposts and the directions, because this is not where you want to make your journey take longer. Either way, you're still going to get there. And also, depending on what kind of vehicle you're in, it could take you a little bit longer than someone else. It doesn't matter. You're still going to get there, and you're still close. The idea of close is relative. And something else is coming to light. I've got this set of cards in front of me, but something else is coming to light for me. That an awareness that one of the things that has slowed me down, and take this as it resonates with you, but one of the things that has slowed me down is the nature of my work and my journey. And what I mean by that is that, you know, I was just considering after this, I was just thinking, flash forward, after doing this reading, I'm going to need to export it into my editor, and the most tedious part of just this whole process is summarizing what this reading is about for the title that I put on the thumbnail. And so what happens is that then because when I'm reading, I'm not actually processing it as a listener, it then sends me into the healing piece of this reading as the receiver of it, which is unavoidable if I want to title it that way. But for me, as a content creator, the titling is important so that by the time you click on it, you kind of know what it's about. But that is it, is that I listen to it and it sends me on its own journey. So each reading I do sends me on its own journey of my own healing. And so it's like the nature. And as I was shuffling, I got the Star and I got the 8 of Swords, which is like healing and overthinking and like the thoughts. And perhaps that's where I get stuck. You know, there's a tool, an AI tool that I can put videos into that pulls out a summary or whatever. But I actually don't think I should even do that. I think this is more, the sense I'm getting is more, honor the nature of the journey. And there's so much about the journey that you cannot see up front. But honor its nature. And what I said about the spear before, because the five of Cups has come up here and the 5 of Swords. And 5 of Cups is in the position of where you're at right now, and the 5 of Swords is in the position of where you're headed. And for me, the 2 5s make up a 10, and so this is about a completion. I've got the 8 of Wands leading up into where you're coming from, which is communication. So that's like all the information you currently need is being fed to you. And this 5 of Cups is telling me about things that have disappointed being stacked up together to create a new way of appreciating something. And the 5 of Swords is around being cautious about how you move, not just cautiousness, smart about how you approach things. These two things are saying what I've been saying is to kind of pivot the view of what the struggle has been towards that self-empowerment, an increased sense of self-knowledge over like what does cause you to stumble. Because again, the road is of its own nature. You cannot change the nature of the road. What you can do is change how you interact with your armor and how you see these stumbling blocks. Because then if you're prepared, you kind of like have upgraded yourself from like taking on the off-road in a coupe versus a 4x4. And so that's what I think this is about. This is about taking back your enjoyment of this whole process by honoring its nature and honoring how it is structured, how it's built, how it's designed. When you ask for more, you're going to get more. That more, I mean, when you're asking for more, actually, without specifying, you're asking to be strengthened, fortified, given more insight, an increased ability for your insight. Those words were not flowing. More insight, more understanding. You're asking for all of these things. Essentially, you've signed up for boot camp without realizing that it's boot camp, and without realizing that no one's going to just like knock on your door and deliver gifts and walk away. They need to make sure you're ready for the gifts. And so it's like honoring it. It's like saying thank you to the system for knowing that I can prepare myself for these gifts. It's like honoring the journey that's been, so that you can also appreciate what's coming and rest, so that you don't feel so exhausted by everything you've been through. Like, this is also we're accumulating more energy here. We are pouring into our stores. What do you call it? You know, your stores. And so that is it. I've got the Knight of Pentacles in your subconscious. That is a feeling of that you've been moving slowly, which is absolutely fine. In your outcome, I've got the Three of Cups, which says you're going to actually be enjoying this whole process more, playing more. A lot of inner child healing is coming through here. And even though there's a fear that takeoff is not, I see that in the Chariot here, in what you want and your fear, is that even though you feel takeoff is delayed, to know that it's not delayed. All of this contemplation, I've got here the Four of Cups in your surrounding factors. All of this contemplation has been part of the journey. And your main card, the first card I've got here, is your Two of Cups. And so this has all been about what you want for yourself. This has all been about what you want for yourself. And where you are now is, do not worry about the rush. There's no rush. There's no rush. And you are almost there. And don't let the idea that you're almost there create this fear that you're not hurrying up enough. You're actually being told not to hurry, but you're being asked to pivot how you've been seeing this whole thing, how you have conceptualized the idea of struggle, and what it is you asked for, the nature of it, the nature of the journey, and to not turn away from yourself. That's all actually that you're asked to not do right now, is to not turn away from yourself, to turn around and to face yourself and to face this part of the journey, and to not be triggered by stumbling blocks that occur now. These are not to bring doubt to you. These are not to make you think, oh, I made the wrong decision. No, that's not why they're there. It's just the nature of the journey. It's the nature of the path. I've got 24 on the clock. And so I'm going to close this here. I'm wishing everyone a good move up towards this full moon. Sending you so much love. I feel like I'm just going to pull one last card here from the Moonology deck. Around the new moon, I use the manifestation deck. And this one just feels like a full moon deck to me. It's the navy blue deck. Let's see what it's got here. I've got the waning moon. What do you need to release? Which is what we've been talking about. I've got the new moon in Sagittarius. Luck is on your side. And you know, this to me, the Sagittarius gives me the sense that a lot of what we're moving into is gonna, by the time December period comes, it's like you're gonna be in a completely different space. And this correlates with another set of readings I did for September. I've shared some information about that on the community page. And hold your vision. These are all confirmations to me about where we're at. Oh, and a reminder, just lastly, as I close, that I've opened a Facebook community page. I haven't shared that information. I shared it on Instagram. I haven't shared it yet on YouTube, so I'm going to put it on the community tab as well. It's a place for us to be able to have more discussion, because I find a lot of good topics get lost in the comments section, and so if you haven't listened to a certain reading, you might miss out on that. And also the replying and responding on YouTube is not the greatest. I mean, it's been amazing, but it's just, I thought that we could spread ourselves a bit there. Sending you so much love moving into this weekend. Chat soon.